All right, greetings. I hope everyone can hear my voice. Having a little bit of technical difficulties um over here. All right, let's see if we can make sure this is operating as it should. All right, I think it is. Greetings. This is Professor Griff, and of course, y'all already know this is On the Masses, right here on the Black Power Media Reloaded. Shout out to Kalanji Chaba Changa, and all the good people over there that support the platform. And of course, if you're watching this on probably Facebook, it's probably my page, Professor Griff. And of course, if you're watching this YouTube and a couple of other places, it is Serious Minds. All right, that's Serious Minds RNTV. If you're watching any other place, somebody probably stole it and bootlegged it, and they doing whatever with it. So in the meantime, between time, today's show, we're going to be talking about the death of Black music, part 3. And it's a shame. I feel kind of sad about having to do a part 3. There's so many of our elders are now transitioning and taking libraries of music with them. But before we get to that, before we do the tribute to Roy Ayers and Wiggins and whatever else we're going to get into, we're going to have a very critical, dynamic, informative interview with a beautiful sister by the name of Julie Dash. And she was centered and grounded and thoughtful enough to think forward to give us a beautiful, dynamic film, Daughters of the Dust. So we're going to have that interview coming up in just 1 second. In the meantime, in between time, shout out to everyone that support the platform. Shout out to everyone that supports Serious Minds. Thank you. Shout out to everyone on IG. Of course, we're there. Instagram is not letting us kind of broadcast to that destination via StreamYard, but I'm on there anyway. We just kind of made it happen. You can't tell Black people too much. All right. Anyway, in the meantime, in between time, thank you all for joining me on this rainy, I don't know where y'all at, but I'm in the ATL on a rainy Monday morning. Heart is heavy in reference to us losing all the elders that we're losing, but we're the ones that are going to carry forward the spiritual and positive vibration of their music and constantly speak their name. All right, to make sure the legacy of those particular individuals live on through us. All right, I think that's a beautiful thing. So what I'm going to do is kind of put some music under us so I can prepare my mindset and my spirit for this beautiful sister to come on. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can get some music. Now I don't know what's happening with technology nowadays, but I tested this out yesterday. It was fine, but I don't know. I got some music. All right, and let me see if I could bring the sister, Miss Julie Dash. Hold on for a second. Let me see if she's there.
I'm here.
All right, greetings. You're here. How are you?
Hello, Professor Griff. How are you? I'm here.
I'm all right. I'm trying to be like you. So as opposed to running down your whole bio, I just said to myself, tell the sister to come on, just kind of be herself, and we'll talk about we'll have her introduce herself to the audience, and we'll just have a conversation like I met you on the bus stop. All right.
Okay.
I know you're like, well, that's kind of odd and strange.
No, it works for me.
Anyway, it's a beautiful thing. So for the people that don't know who you are, please introduce yourself to the Masses and the Serious Minds family.
Okay, my name is Julie Dash. I'm a filmmaker, and I've been blessed to be able to work as an independent filmmaker as well as a filmmaker who works in Hollywood. And I'm also an endowed professor at Spelman College, where I am sharing everything I've learned over the years with emerging filmmakers, young women at Spelman College.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. So what have you worked on as of late, so the young people that are on here that's still in their teens and in their 20s might know?
Okay, I did 2 seasons of the Hulu hit show Reasonable Doubt. I did
Mm.
Our Kind of People, and Women of the Movement, the limited series about Mamie Till. Yes, so, but I think most
Oh,
people,
wow.
the latest thing has been Reasonable Doubt. Yeah.
Okay. Have your sojourn in the film industry, I guess starting out, was it a very difficult thing to kind of, they use the term break into? I don't like using that term, but for all practical purpose, breaking into the film industry, was it difficult?
Well, I think my journey has been a little different because I started out studying film at the Studio Museum in Harlem in New York back in the 70s. And so my intention as a filmmaker was never to break into Hollywood. My intention was going to, I graduated AFI, UCLA, all of these places. My intention as part of being that cadre of filmmakers was to tell stories about my community, to tell stories, to give voice to ideas and issues and events that were being kind of misrepresented or distorted actually by Hollywood. So
Mm.
yes, and so eventually I did, after Daughters of the Dust, I did kind of segue into doing, television movies like Love Song for MTV and Funny Valentines and the Rosa Parks Story with Angela Bassett. I segued into that, and it's wonderful. But I was not really trying to break into the industry, you know.
Right. Well, that's just the terminology. So before we
Mhm.
get
Oh,
ahead
I
of
got you.
ourselves, um,
Mhm.
this Sunday, at the Soul Cinema Sundays at the Plaza and Theater, they're going to be showing Daughters of the Dust. Can you give us a kind of a preview as to what we might see? And it might be a discussion afterwards. Am I correct?
That's what they're telling me. Yes. Yeah. So Daughters of the Dust, I made that over 30 years ago. That was my first feature film. And, I have the distinction of being the first African American woman to have a theatrical film in distribution. I didn't know it
Mm.
at the time, but I know it now. And it has gone far, over the years, 30 years. So it's basically a story about a family leaving the Sea Islands of the South and moving towards science and industry in the North. So it's kind of a Last Supper luncheon that the family has, and we bring up events and issues of the time. So it's a costume drama, and
Okay.
yeah, and so what's really wonderful is it has long legs, so to speak, because in the year 2022 it was voted number 60 of the 100 best films ever made in the world.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
And so I hear the filmmaking
I,
process is a lot.
I share that with La Dolce Vita, with that number 60. Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you what other films are kind of like, you said yours is 60. So what's 55 through 60? What are some of those other
I share
films
number
that we?
60. I share number 60 with Moonlight and La Dolce Vita. And
Okay.
then there's like Lawrence of Arabia, of
Oh,
course,
okay.
all of the Godfather movies, and you know, general, the movies that we
Wow.
know. But it's an international selection of movies.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay. So Soul Cinema Sundays at the Plaza Theater. That is this Sunday. Hold on for a second. Doors open up at 3:15. Discussion after the film. The Plaza Theater, Atlanta is 1049 Ponce de Leon Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia. You can call 510-473-2555. 3:53. Doors open up at 3:15. The film's going to be shown at 10:49 Ponce de Leon Avenue. That's Soul Cinema Sundays. So let me ask you, the whole idea of making a film, did you say I'm going to play this role, or I'm going to kind of direct it, produce it, write it? I'm going to be in front of the camera, behind the camera. How does that work? We're talking how many years ago now?
It's over 30 years. I'm talking, I was never in front of the camera. I've always written and directed. Like I said, starting out in the Studio Museum of Harlem, and then going to the American Film Institute, and then graduate school in UCLA. My intention was always to tell stories that, basically about African-American women, my communities, how things are different. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So I feel really good being interviewed by you, Professor Griff. Yes. Oh yeah.
Well, Julie Dash, some people say I'm rough around the edges.
Well, so am I.
I come from that. That era. We had to speak up and speak out because we didn't have these platforms to speak through. And I admire you as a filmmaker. Having the wherewithal.
We were around the edges. We were listening to NWA. We were. They actually labeled us the LA Rebellion because we were operating from the belly of the beast. So so I do fully understand that, and yeah.
Okay, what was Hollywood like then for Black filmmakers, especially Black women?
Zero. There were not many. No, not many at all. Most of my mentors and references came from independent film, like Kathleen Collins and Jessie Maple, people who were women who were making films, but they were not getting distribution, or they were not getting hired to do episodic television in Hollywood. Right. And thank God for the emergence of Ava DuVernay and her company Array and Queen Sugar, because I also worked on Queen Sugar too.
Okay. Wow.
With her coming about and opening the doors, she used her gravitas to open the doors for so many other women who had been, banging on the doors of Hollywood,
Right. So Daughters of the Dust, I've heard some things. I've seen it, but that was so long ago. I'm 64 now, so it's been a minute ago since I've seen it. But hints of recipes, hints of food, hints of family, hints of voodoo, hints of religion, hints of all those things. Am I right? Am I going down the right path? All of those things are encompassed in the film?
Yeah. You're golden.
All right. So can you expound on some of that?
Well, I always like to talk about African American history, music, dance, food, and everything as being part of a continuum of our West African heritage. And so nothing is new. Even rap was not new because it came from, that's how they used to, the different ethnic tribes would rap against one another. And so, so I just like to incorporate all of those truths into whatever I'm working in or at the time.
Okay. I don't mean to press the pause button, but a sister from Dayton, Ohio, Barbara O.
Yes.
Yeah, Barbara, she told me to tell you greetings. She said, "Good day."
I put it on the screen. The Barbara O that was in several of my movies passed away last year. So Barbara O.
She said she's a good friend of Barbara O.
Okay, that's all right. But then again, Barbara O might be communicating through YouTube. You never know. I'm open to that too.
Right, you and me both. Okay, so now here we are in 2025, right? Mm-hmm. And Janine was gutsy enough to show the film this Sunday. And I'm saying, do you find this often another generation coming up taking the film and pushing it forward into the hearts and minds of the next generation? Do you get that often?
Yes, I do. In fact, it's never stopped playing in over 30 years. It's that's why I say I've really been blessed. I mean, it plays in Europe and it plays all over the world, India, Africa. I've been with it everywhere, and it's never stopped being, you know, projected in theaters all this time. It's always playing somewhere.
Okay, so I'm dating both of us, so it was on VHS, right?
Oh yeah, woo! It sure was.
It was on DVD then. I take it.
And now it's Blu-ray.
And now it's in the new. Exactly. That's where I was going with that.
We have Blu-ray now. Thank you.
Okay. Just a few more questions. That's all. I'm gonna let you go. I'm not going to keep you. When you look at making a film today, what kind of advice would you give a young Black woman into film? What kind of advice would you give her? Speak to the younger Julie Dash. Let this Julie Dash speak to the younger Julie Dash.
I would tell her, first of all, to be courageous. You have and trust your instinct and the story that you desire to tell, your true intentions, and also to not be afraid to branch out, work in all different platforms. You know, everyone doesn't have to do a feature film. You could do streaming. You could do a short video. You could do music videos. You could make movies for museums. I mean, but you could do commercial. Commercial work is very profitable. You know, I've done car commercials. You know, so I've done health commercials. You know, but every experience, every job you get and that you do, you learn something from it. So don't hold back. You know, waiting for that opportunity to do a feature film. Just keep working on various platforms. Even, you know, like you can do YouTube videos, you know.
Right.
So that's what I'd say.
Someone on Instagram wants to know, do they have to go to Hollywood in order to be successful in the film, as the film industry, as a writer, director such as you?
Absolutely not.
Do you have to go to Hollywood?
No, you do not have to go to Hollywood because, you know, there's the whole world. Hollywood didn't tell me my film was number 60. It was from the British Film Institute and Sight and Sound and cultural critics from around the world. So no, do not wait for that phone call from Hollywood. Just keep making the films you want to make, and speak in the voice that you want to speak in and tell your truth.
Right. Were you able to make the necessary connections to have your film translated into different languages?
Absolutely. It's translated into multiple languages. It's very easy now with AI too. But yeah, it's in multiple languages, you know. It was my most interesting time watching it was in Japan and seeing the letters go up the side of the left screen of the frame, the translation.
Okay. My last question, give us that best experience, that high point for you with this film. Give us that, not the aha moment, but okay, my soul is satisfied moment with this film.
Okay. Well, I guess it happened many times, to be honest, but my soul was satisfied when it was inducted into the Library of Congress National Film Registry back in maybe 2014 or something, as a national treasure, and where they preserve and protect negative. Yeah. So I joined.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. Let me give you a round of applause on that one. That's beautiful. You etched in stone, etched in history. For real.
Yeah.
So you are going to be there this Sunday?
I actually have 2 films that they inducted. They also inducted a short film I did called Illusions.
Okay. Yeah. I'm getting 2 more questions, but I'll ask you one. Are you teaching film? A young lady wants to know.
Yes.
Are you teaching film?
Yes, I am. I'm teaching film at Spelman.
At Spelman. Okay. You did say that when we first came on. Yes, young lady, she's teaching film at Spelman.
In Atlanta.
Sure if you have to go to Spelman. in Atlanta. I'm not sure if you have to go to Spelman in order to take her class, but I'm sure you do. If she does something outside of Spelman, she'll let us know.
That's
And you're going to be there this Sunday for people to come meet you, shake your hand, get your autograph.
Unfortunately, I'm taking my Spelman students on Thursday to Chicago to visit Sisters in Cinema, an organization built by Yvonne Wellman, a documentary filmmaker and entrepreneur. And so we'll still be there. So I will not be I will not be at Fox. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate you. Janine really appreciates you. I know my audience really appreciates you. And yeah, keep doing what you're doing, sis. If I had the time and the energy, I'd like to sit at your feet and learn some of them filmmaking techniques. But man, the revolution continues.
Welcome. You are welcome to. Would love to talk to you more. Yes.
Oh, give thanks. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Take care. All right.
Okay. Bye now.
All right. Bye. That was Julie Dash, ladies and gentlemen. She gave us Daughters of the Dust. Director, writer, filmmaker Julie Dash. So that film, Daughters of the Dust, they will be showing this film, Daughters of the Dust, this Sunday at the Soul Cinema Sundays, March 16th at 4 p.m. Doors open up at 3:15. All right, Soul Cinema Sundays is at the Plaza Theater in Atlanta, 1049 Ponce de Leon Avenue in Atlanta. All right, make sure y'all check the film out. Make sure you're there. If you're in the ATL, show up. All right, I would say show up and show out, but yeah, don't show out. Come on, just show up. Anyway, in the meantime, between time, you can call 510-473-2553. All right. I would have a link up on the screen for y'all to scan, for y'all to buy the tickets, but I do not have that as right now. But I guess you can kind of show up there and pay for your tickets or whatever. I'm sure they're going to have some popcorn and some other stuff. Matter of fact, some vegan popcorn and some vegan napkins and toothpicks. Show up, family. Let's support our sister Janine, and definitely support filmmakers and directors like Miss Julie Dash that are up and coming. All right. Anyway, we are losing so many of our greats. And when I say great, I do mean great as in good. They're now ancestors. Dwayne Wiggins of Toni, and of course, Roy Ayers, and the last 7 artists that I've mentioned. Yeah, it's a critical thing to see how many of us are transitioning, taking libraries of experience, of music, of vibration, of frequency, of tones, of experience, of stories with them. All right. We have to begin to study these particular artists, sit at their feet while they're alive. Like I just told Julie Dash, if I had the time, I'd like to sit at her feet because I've had a Sony A7 III for 8 years now, 7 years. And I done ran that thing to the ringer, not knowing what the hell I was doing. I went to YouTube University. You understand what I'm saying? If I did go to Spelman, I would definitely have to take the film class because telling our story using visuals is a beautiful thing. All right. And it's an art to that. Filmmaking is an art. And I'm sure, you know, filmmakers will tell you that. All right. And as Julie said, you don't necessarily have to go to Hollywood. Start your journey from where you are. The creator will put people in your paths to continue that journey. But our good brother, Roy Ayers. Let me share my screen. Let me see. Roy Ayers. I'm talking to Everybody Love the Sunshine, Roy Ayers. I've heard Roy Ayers. I must have heard it at least 100 times since his passing, but it's a beautiful thing. There's once in a lifetime that the creator will deposit. No, the creator have deposited beauty in all of us. It's up to us to tap into that beauty and bring it out of us so we can share it with the world. This brother right here, Roy Ayers, has, oh man, I'm getting choked up just kind of thinking about it. Roy Ayers was a vibraphonist. Now, a lot of people may not know what that is because you don't find a lot of people playing these vibraphones. I mean, just we call them, what's the other name? Xylophones and all these other things. But it's a beautiful thing. That brother had that instrument talking and speaking to us in a language that only high melanated people can understand and vibe with. But then we stopped hoarding it and he shared it with the rest of the world, and we was cool with that. But Roy Ayers was a composer, a jazz funk pioneer behind Everybody Loves the Sunshine. He's passed away now and passed on to the ancestral realm at the age of 84. He died Tuesday in New York City after a long illness, according to a statement shared on his Facebook page. Roy Ayers was born in Los Angeles, and he often tells that story. And I've watched Jason's film. Jason is going to kill me. Hold on for a second. Jason is going to kill me because, hold on for a second. I've just saw Roy Ayers in Jason's film. Hold on, I'm gonna call Jason. Jason, I'm still on my show live, and I hate you to put you on the spot like this. I just got you on speakerphone. And I said, Jason's going to kill me if I don't remember the name of his film that I just saw Roy Ayers in, the name of Jason's film. Can you please tell the people?
Stepping into tomorrow, story of jazz, funk fusion, and the music that changed the world.
Wow. And Roy Ayers was prominently up in your film, am I correct?
Yeah, prominently in there for his pioneering in jazz, funk, and fusion, and as well as the UK British soul music.
Woo! Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience real quick? I know I'm putting you on the spot. I'm not even sure if you were busy, bro.
I'm in a restaurant in New York. Yeah. I can tell you.
Oh.
What you want to know? What's the question?
The whole idea of putting that together and then having the pleasure and seeing it forward, not knowing that, you know, I guess sooner or later we would be ancestors, but not knowing that we would lose Roy Ayers so soon, having him up in your film. What was that like? Like, talk to me.
Oh, man, that was magical. Number one, I already had a relationship with Roy Ayers. That's why most people in Atlanta call him Uncle Roy, because he's so embedded with cats that's recorded with him from Atlanta. But Roy is one of 8 people who have already passed out of Stepping Into Tomorrow.
Whoa!
The film. Yeah, George Duke passed, Greg Tate passed, Larry Rosa for GRP passed, Al Jarreau passed. You know, it's a good number. It's 8 total. But what I feel is important about the film is that we're talking to not people next to the pioneers, but the pioneers are the most important music genre that there's ever been. Jazz, wow. Funk, and fusion, which is the foundation of all popular music. This was the music that moved into disco, and disco moving into hip hop, and hip hop moving into new soul and neo soul and all of those things. So right. It's a very important movie with the actual pioneers, the Herbie Hancocks, the George Dukes, George Bensons, the Larry Mizell, the Mizell brothers, Roy Ayers himself, you know. Roy is in 2 of my films, and a third one that would be specifically on him because I shot him before he passed just to do his documentary.
Oh, wow.
You know? Oh, yeah. You know, so I got him on, you know, Funk Jazz Cafe, Diary of a Decade, and what's happening with the evolution of what we saw in the early 90s, right?
Right.
And people started sampling his music. It's funny how Tribe is in the Hall of Fame and Roy Ayers isn't.
Oh, and they sample Roy Ayers.
Their whole sound is Roy Ayers. Bonita Applebum, Running Away, the whole second album is Roy Ayers vibe.
And how is Roy Ayers not in the Hall of Rock? Yeah, man.
Because we as a people don't give him credit and don't shout him out and don't, you know, even the man himself, you know, lived life like a commoner, not like, you know, he is the pioneer and the legend of this particular thing. The difference is somebody like Prince who knew who he was and knew what his contribution is.
Right.
Up every day thinking about Prince, what Prince gonna do. Roy, you know, in his time when he was making those hits, he wasn't really getting compensated like he thought he should.
Right.
So he was one of those artists that had to resort to the road to make money. You know what I mean?
Right.
And look at all of our stars. And of course, you as a Hall of Famer, you know what it's like to, at some point, you got to make a transition out of this music thing, unless it's just deep. But James Brown died on stage. A number of these cats, they didn't make any other transition other than music. Or it's us, it's just saying, hey, Patti LaBelle, sing If You Only Knew one more time. Al Green, sing, you know, your song one more time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Stay together, right? Yeah.
Sing Let's Stay Together one more time.
Yeah.
SOS Band, say, you know, just the way you like it one more time. Mary Davis, 80 years old, lead singer of the SOS Band, had a stroke, had to quit.
Wow.
And that pretty much stopped the main income, you know, because she couldn't tour with the SOS Band.
Right.
Just, you know, so I see something there where our elders, you know, don't have no other resort for income other than continuous performance.
Right.
And at a time, it's like, well, you know, ticket prices are low. There's no real demand. Folks ain't making the album. But Roy was one of those artists. And I'm glad to see people are showing him some love in his passing. It's unlike Dwayne Wiggins, who was definitely just as important or as important. Angie Stone, Roberta Flack. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I've had a conversation.
Just passed.
Right. I've had a conversation recently in 3 different conversations. And the last conversation was with Soleil. And I'm writing a song. I'm sitting in the bed writing a song. And I'm throwing examples at her. And I said, well, how does this sound? What do you think? You think this lyric is this, that, and the other? She says, well, like basically, where are you pulling from? And I played Roy Ayers for her. I think a day before he passed on. I played like Running Away, and I played something else for, and Searching, I think. Searching.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's like this song. And she was like, oh, I heard that before. It's Roy Ayers. I'm like, yeah, it's like this. And we just had that discussion, not knowing that he was going to transition the next day. So when he transitioned and we had that conversation again, he said, wow, we just was speaking his name the other day. I said, yeah, because I'm trying to incorporate that sound into the soul home. Trying to get people to understand it.
That? You know what that is? Because he's in that, even as I write about Roy now in passing, you know, it's really, I can't help but think about his vibe.
Right.
Like not only is he a master of the vibes, but his vibe was prominent. I mean, you know, he sings how he talks.
Right.
When he said, baby, 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 reach for the sky, looking to find the third eye. I mean, that man put metaphysics in his commercial song.
Right. Wow. That's what I mean, though. When I say the soul home, that's what I mean. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it has to have that. That's what I was pulling from Roy Ayers.
Yeah, you was pulling the vibe and the energy of it of brightness, not being pushed down and suppressed.
Right, exactly.
Hear your sound and be uplifted and smile. And Roy was that. He embodied that. I mean, when you think of him and you see him in your mind, you see him with a smile.
Right.
Because his sound was a smile.
Yeah. Yeah, he gave us something really, really beautiful, bro.
really beautiful, really important to the collective of things that we got out there. We got all the hustle and the get busy music, and but when it comes to being enlightened and being in a higher place and at peace,
right.
Boy was it. Boy was it.
Right.
Soulful vibe, deep soul. You can feel the blackness.
Yeah.
He was that in chord.
Yeah, man. And a lot of people are not used to hearing that tone and that frequency and that sound and that spirit coming from that, because a lot of people didn't play the vibe like that.
No, nobody played the vibe like that. Before him, it was Lionel Hampton that was doing traditional jazz.
Right.
Roy came and put himself in the era. You know the thing that they always say about artists, you're supposed to reflect your era.
Right.
That you live in. And Roy reflected his coolness of that era. Hey, baby. Yeah, how you doing, mama?
Right.
All of that. I mean, that was him. That was really, really, really him. And I tell folks, he was like last of the real soul men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow,
real
man.
soulful, loving dude.
Damn.
We don't see them too much anymore.
Nah, we really don't. I'm glad Roy Ayers showed up, man, and showed the hell out. I'm glad he showed up as his true, authentic self, because I guess he looked at the instrument he played like, maybe he did think it was sexy. I don't know. A lot of people look at guitar players and look at bass players and saxophone players. I guess saxophone players and clarinet and clavinet and all these other instruments as being cool. Roy Ayers showed up. That thing was hard to travel with, bro.
Oh, man, it was big until it got digital in the 80s, right?
Right.
Where he could do a MIDI thing.
He could do a MIDI thing, right.
Yeah, but, until then, the xylophone was something major. That was heavier than the Fender Rhodes, man, with the case.
Exactly, yeah. So you either had to have one already there, because you definitely wasn't traveling on Eastern Airlines with it.
No. And I mean, what backline company got a xylophone?
Right, exactly. Exactly. So until the music people looked forward and said, wait a minute, we need to make a scaled down version of this so people can travel with it. Now let me ask you, do you know anyone else that plays the xylophone today?
Very few people. 9 out of 10 times it's also a drummer.
Wow.
But I don't see too many people feeling like they want to get on there, because you can do the same thing on the keyboard.
Right.
If you listen to Roy Ayers real good, he wasn't playing complicated stuff. He was playing stuff that he could find on a xylophone, not a keyboard.
Woo! Oh, okay. I got it.
Like think of the notes of the third eye.
Right. Right. Yeah.
That justified him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you wouldn't play something that simple on a keyboard. You just wouldn't.
No.
You got more fingers. You got
to
do stuff with. But on the xylophone, you want that thing to ring out when you hit it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you give it space and time and patience to let the instrument do what it do.
Yeah.
So that's where it was important that he was playing xylophone, because he wasn't playing a bunch of notes. Lionel Hampton was the same way. He didn't play a bunch of notes, but
right.
He kind of showed that the xylophone has his place.
Right.
Roy is the master of the vibe.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he definitely is. What do you think about Dwayne Wiggins passing on, man? That hit me upside the head.
Hit me upside the head. I mean, I wasn't expecting it. And, there's some people I can point at right now, and I'd be like, hey, that tour right there is a goodbye tour. They must have cancer or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Raphael was adamant about doing stuff with his brothers in the tour, and they kind of rushed it. They made that thing happen as soon as he said it.
Wow.
Right? And so he got to be on the road. And, Dwayne was like that secret dude in the Tonys. And we admire the Tonys and their contribution to black music. And Dwayne, anniversary. Do you know what today is? It's our anniversary. That's in the black lexicon of music now.
Right, exactly.
It never rains in Southern California. And what a lot of people don't know is that Dwayne mentored a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You got NDRE's video because of Dwayne Wiggins. Song video, I'm not the average girl in the video.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stars like that that's out there that's really big that had to see Dwayne Wiggins or went to see Dwayne Wiggins first and got his advice and counsel.
Wow. Yeah. I met him. And I've known him. And every time we see each other, it's like we don't really have words. We just hug like me and Dougie Fresh because we already know. We don't have to speak words. We just kind of know. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
Or me and Stretch from Naughty by Nature like that. Me and a few cats, we just like, we know. You understand what I'm saying? Like you and I, we know.
Yeah. You just walk by each other town, we good.
We're good, right. But I really appreciate you for taking a few minutes out for me, good bro.
I appreciate you even exploring Roy Ayers, man. You know, because that was a very important. You know how I feel about all of this. Even y'all being in the Hall of Fame in the 90s and early 2000s, I was screaming that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I like to see our folks really recognize, man. And anything on Roy Ayers because he was such a major factor. And because he didn't claim all of his roses, you know, we should claim them for him.
Right.
You know, that was our guy. So I appreciate you doing the show and mentioning his name and raising him to the highest height.
Oh, good. Thanks. Really appreciate you, good bro. We'll talk, all right?
Bless you.
All right. Peace, good bro.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Jason Orr, filmmaker. He did Funk Jazz Cafe for years. If you were in Atlanta and you experienced Funk Jazz Cafe, then you know who Jason Orr is. He gave us the film Diary of a Decade. And what better way, man, to honor Dwayne Wiggins and Roy Ayers for us to sit down in these digital streets and get these stories from what we pulled from and what Dwayne Wiggins and Roy Ayers gave us and push it forward. It's always a beautiful thing when we can tell these stories so that the young people coming up, because a lot of people have heard Tribe Called Quest, but they may not have known that those samples, some of those samples, you know, were Roy Ayers samples. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be Black and living in this day and time and knowing, understanding that who and what we are gave birth to a Dwayne Wiggins, gave birth to a Toni, gave birth to Roy Ayers. Yeah. Anyway, family, it's your brother, Professor Griff, right here on The Masses. All right, on Black Power Media Reloaded. All right, thank you, Julie Dash. Really appreciate you. Thank you, Jason Orr, for coming on. And yeah, those individuals that are transitioning into the ancestral realm, we're gonna speak your name often. We're gonna play your music. We're gonna dance. We're gonna party. We're gonna finger pop to it, and we're going to often. We'll remember you often. I'll give it a family reunion, the party, or whatever, or just in the club. All right, this is Professor Griff. Revolution is not an event; it's a process, man. Love y'all to life. Make sure you'll show up this Sunday at Soul Sunday Cinema. All right, 3:15 the door. 3:15 the door is open. All right, make sure you show up. Get your tickets. All right, that's at. Let me give y'all the address. That's at 1049 Park De Leon Avenue, 315 at the Plaza Theater. Y'all see the theater when y'all show up. Call 510-473-2553. This is just, I love y'all to life. All right, peace. All right, I'm outie. Peace, fam. This is Professor Griff, Public Enemy. Peace, fam. This is Professor Griff, Public Enemy. Of course, you know, the Minister of Information. Right now, my entire sound library on CD-ROM are available to you in an auction. Right now, you will get the Public Enemy sounds that made some of them songs that you love, the hard-hitting beats. We got kicks, we got snares, we got hi-hats, we got beats, we got loops, we got breaks, we got keyboard sounds, guitar sounds, bass sounds, we got scratching, we got sound effects, we got nature sounds, environmental sounds, we got all kind of sounds from different genres, from jazz to neo-soul to R&B, classic, smooth. These are the beats, breaks, and the sounds that made some of them Public Enemy songs. Get it now. Check this out. Don't make beats, make history. Peace. It's Professor Griff. Hit me up, 678-557-2919. Peace.